Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. They say I've only got a couple seconds to grab your attention, so if you like gratuitous amounts of hardwood, this is the video for you. Otherwise, not sure what to tell you. Alright, here I've got a live oak log, and what's cool about this is about 45 days ago when I went and harvested this, the tractor wouldn't even come close to picking it up. It was a hard no. So it's lost enough water weight in the month and a half that is now able to pick it up, which I think is pretty cool. So here we've got about 41 inches between the crotch, which is more than I can say about myself, but what can you do? So we're going to trim it down. I've got my trusty Pharma G395 XP, which is just the Husqvarna 395 knockoff. But if you need a big saw and you got a little budget, this is something worth looking into. Also, a while back, Jerry's Resharp, who I buy my blades from, had a 10 for 1 deal. So I bought 10 blades and I got this one top dog, which is I guess going to be their house brand or something like that. It's a 7-degree blade. They tossed it in free, and we're going to see how it does on this live oak log. So that noise you heard is the blade engagement bar rubbing on the output shaft of the motor. Remind me to fire my engineer. I'm just kidding, I'm the engineer. I did that. So what happened was several months ago when I cut the mill apart to widen it, being the eternal cheap ass that I am, I chose not to buy the properly sized centrifugal clutch and instead chose to pack together this direct drive system, which while it works, it is not ideal. So one day I'll fix that. Anyways, the mill is still hitting the side of the log here, so I'm having to abort the cut and pull the mill back and trim it just to Red Sea here so that we can slide it on by. Alright, so back in action finally. So it's hard to describe how a fresh blade cuts. It requires almost no effort to advance the saw through the log. It's almost like it pulls itself. And it's doing that here, but as soon as I start cutting, it starts kind of hopping around, and you can kind of tell a little bit. And I say this because the mill has never done this before. I've had this thing for about 4 years, and I've cut everything from boat art to pecan to post oak, and it has never really jumped, bounced. I'm not really sure how to describe it. It's not really conveying itself too well through the video, but it is really jumping around. So that was weird, and as this is going, I'm not really sure what to do about it other than just keep cutting, because what else are you going to do? And so eventually here, the saw is going to stop because there's a stupid little stick laying on the track, and it takes me a second to figure out what's going on. And it's crazy how little that this mill will tolerate rolling over. It's almost like a leaf will stop in its tracks. So anyways, get the stick moved out of the way and continue the cut. And here towards the end, you will see that it really starts to get violent, and it just is not happy at all. So a little bit about the sawmill itself while I reset the cut here. This is a kit from Lynn Lumber, and the kit is just the saw frame itself, which is basically everything that the wheels are attached to. The carriage and the bed down below is all my concoction, which is why it looks poorly engineered. Anyways, the kit itself was from Lynn Lumber, and it was about $1,200, and it ships as pieces. So you're basically going to take everything, you're going to drill and tap all the bolt holes, you're going to weld it together and adjust everything, and you can buy the whole everything, I guess, but I just chose not to, again, because I am the eternal cheap ass. And this is also a major turning point as I grow as a person, because used to I would just pick all the stuff up by hand and move it out of the way. And one day my back is going to say, screw you, dude, I'm not doing that. So I'm going to make a resolution here, and y'all hold me accountable to start using the tractor for more stuff that requires brute strength. So I've also gotten in the habit of make my first cut and then flip the log over, simply because it will sit on the mill a lot better. Before I had it propped up with a bunch of dunnage just so it wouldn't move around. But as you'll see here in a little bit, not only is the mill going to be jumping around again, but the log is going to be bouncing around with it. So it is just an absolute barrel of monkeys to deal with. I purposely sped all that stuff up just because there's not a whole lot to see there. It still jumps around a whole lot. And here, I can't help myself. I always got to spray it off and take a look. And there's not a whole lot of interesting stuff here. I will say, though, the grain patterns inside of this live oak is pretty interesting. It's a big open pore similar to red oak. But here, in just a second, all of the excitement's going to begin. So, yes, I know exactly what you're thinking because my mom tells me every time she sees me, and I will build another blade guard for this one day. No need to remind me every 6 months like my wife and her honey-do list. But the real story is the old one that I took off before I rebuilt the mill kind of rotted apart, so I wasn't able to reuse it, and I just haven't gone to go buy a sheet of sheet metal yet to build something new. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But this wood grain is beautiful enough to use as a diversion to change the subject. It is really nice looking stuff. I can't wait for this to dry out and see what I can build with it. Alright, my camera died somewhere in the mix, so I'm not sure where we left off, but we're cutting these 3 inches thick. Here we go. So yeah, my family was going to buy me a GoPro, and I said, don't spend money on a GoPro, get one of the cheap knockoff cameras on Amazon. They're only a fraction of the price. And what I got for that is a camera that burns through batteries like Hunter Biden through, well, anyways, it goes through batteries really quickly. So I lost some footage there. So I made another cut, and we're cutting these slabs 3 inches thick. And here I put a Ripper 37 blade back on, and it is important to note that yes, the mill does still jump around, not the right word, it vibrates now. Again, I still can't really describe what's going on, but it does not cut like it normally does in this log. So something fishy is going on there with the wood. Maybe it's just the grain and how hard it is, how big it is. Maybe that it's not clamped down all the way, but I don't have an answer for you. If you've experienced this before, I would be interested to know your opinion in the comments down below, assuming you've made it this far in the video. But you can see here, I've got this video going in real time, and it cuts fine. I just have to really slow down the cut, and I guess that's expected considering that I'm cutting wood that's as wide as the mill will handle. I think a 36-inch wide log is big for any sawmill, short of some of the big commercial stuff. So it's expected I have to slow down a little bit here. The motor is 16 horsepower, and that's not really the issue. The issue is the belt slipping. So again, one of my many engineering flaws here, and I will get around to fixing it one day. And you'll have to excuse me here while I stop to get some super sweet Instagram shots, because where would we be without social media these days? I tell you, I would hire a attractive female to run my sawmill for me to get 3 million views, but I think my wife would take extreme issue with that. Nor can I convince her to get on camera, so y'all are just gonna have to deal with my ugly mug from here on out, I guess. Now that I think about it, I don't know what I did with this footage. I apparently have some cool sawmill footage on my iPhone somewhere because we're watching me take it right now, but I don't have it to put in here, so mystery of the day. Okay, enough of that. Remember earlier when I said I wasn't going to lift heavy stuff anymore? Yeah, me either. So here we are. We're going to call this good, but man, I just can't get over how pretty this wood is. It is really something. I think that'll make a really cool table at some point. Really heavy table that I will probably also lift with my back. Alrighty, to bring this thing home, I'm going to shuttle all of my wood back behind the shop into this brand new lean-to that I built, and this is where they will live for the next probably 6 months air drying before I throw them in the kiln. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and a subscribe. If you didn't like it and you're still hanging out for some reason, feel free to leave some constructive criticism down below. I'm still kind of figuring out this whole video editing thing as I'm pretty new to it. So if you have any suggestions on what would be better, I'm all ears. Once again, thank you for stopping by, and I look forward to hearing from you on the next video.